Fluency in English is something many people want. I remember when I was a young student like you, I wanted to speak English well. I wanted to be fluent, but I was shy and made many mistakes. One day, a teacher said to me, "You can be fluent if you practice every day." This sentence changed my life. When you want something you must work for it. Fluency doesn't come in one day. It is like planting a tree. You put the seeds in the ground, water it, and give it sunshine every day. You care for it, and then one day the tree grows, big and strong. The same. It is true for fluency. One day a student came to me. She was very sad. She said, "Teacher, I want to speak English, but I always forget the words." I smiled and said, "Do not worry. Fluency is not about remembering all the words. It is about practice." She looked at me with hope in her eyes. "But how can I practice?" she asked. I told her, "Practice is everywhere. You can practice by talking to your friends, by listening to stories, by singing songs. You can practice every moment of the day." I remember when I was in school, I loved stories. I learning new things. Every day, fluency is also about listening yourself. Sometimes you need to record yourself speaking, then listen to it. See where you can improve. I once had a student who did this every day. She would record herself reading a story, then she would listen to the recording and find areas where she could improve. This practice made her more aware of her speech, and soon she became fluent. Practicing with her friends is another great way to gain fluency. I had two students who were best friends. They decided to speak only in English with each other every day. They would have conversations in English, helping each other with words they didn't know. Over time, both of them became very fluent. They learned from each other and enjoyed the process. Fluency also comes from using the language in real life situations. When you go to the market, try to speak in English. When you are with friends, try to use English. The more you use the language, the more fluent you become. I had a student who worked in a shop. He decided to speak only in English with his customers. At first, it was difficult, but with time, he became more confident and fluent. Fluency is also about being curious. When you hear a new word, don't ignore it. Find out what it means and try to use it in your next conversations. I remember a student who was very curious. Every time he heard a new word, he would ask me what it meant. Then he would try to use that word as much as possible. His vocabulary grew, and so did his fluency. It is also important to have a goal. Ask yourself, why do I want to be fluent in English? I had a student who struggled with English for a long time. He wanted to give up many times, but he kept going. One day he realized that he was speaking more fluently than before. His persistence paid off. Sometimes it is good to revisit what you have learned. Go back to old lessons and review them. I had a student who would review her notes every month. This helped her remember what she had learned and made her more confident in using the language. Another important thing is to stay open-minded. Sometimes you may hear different ways of saying same things. I had a student who was very curious about different dialects of English. He would learn how people from different places. This made him more adaptable and fluent in different situations. Fluency also comes from enjoying the language. Find something you love in English, whether it is a book, a movie, or a song. I had a student who loved English poetry. She would read poems every day and try to understand them. This made her more passionate about the language and helped her become more fluent. It is also important to ask for feedback. When you speak, ask someone to tell you how your date had. I had a student who would always ask me for feedback. After speaking, this helped him see where he could improve and what he was doing well. Feedback is a valuable tool in becoming more fluent. Another way to improve fluency is by using flashcards. Write down new words on flashcards and review them regularly. I had a student who made flashcards every new word he learned. He would review them every day. This helped him remember the words and use them in conversation. Fluency is also about being comfortable but silent. Sometimes you need a moment to think before you speak. I had a student who was afraid of speaking, afraid of silence. He thought he had to speak immediately. I told him it is okay to pause and think. This helped him feel more comfortable and speak more clearly. It is also helpful to learn phrases instead of just individual words. When you learn a phrase, you learn how words work together.